Hello, good evening, and welcome. I'm John Lazarus with Stories Matter and D&D Publishing. Let's start with a little thought experiment. Would you have sex with this man? Now you might be thinking, I'm not sure, John. I have so many questions.
How many partners has he had in these past 2 years?
Will he get needy? Or is he just looking for a one-time thing?
Is he of good breeding?
I'm totally not gay, so can we just try watching each other jack off? Of course, I can't answer all your questions. There has to be a little mystery to keep it spicy as well.
I wonder if he'll let me peg it.
I hope he doesn't have mommy issues.
You think that hog still has a hood?
I wonder if my Nazi tattoos will be a turnoff for him. This is a thought experiment I always do when I teach writing classes at the Learning Annex. And when I bring in Dale to the classroom, I do it to illustrate the importance of exposition. Much like your decision about whether or not you'd bang Dale, your reader won't follow your characters through your story unless you can answer some key questions about their background. But if you give away too much information, they might get bored and lose track of the narrative. We'll explore the correct ways to utilize exposition on this edition of Stories Matter. Speaking of background, today's video is brought to you by Checklist, the nation's 6th biggest background checking agency. Whether you're a government agency that wants to make sure your data entry drones don't ever touch marijuana, or a soon-to-be bride who wants to make sure her husband isn't a fugitive wanted for strangling kindergarten teachers, make Checklist your background check provider. When I ran my short-lived publishing company, Checklist was a lifesaver and saved us a lot of bad press when we were considering publishing a writer who, it turned out, had more DUIs than the rest of my staff combined. Call Checklist today for more information. Exposition is a literary device that communicates background information to your reader. Now, according to Freytag, exposition happens at the beginning of the story. But as we've talked about before, Freytag was a dumbass who didn't know shit about shit, and who also thought Polish people could only become proper human beings through German colonization and giving up their native language. Exposition can take place at any time in the story, and will often be effective if it's sprinkled carefully throughout your narrative. There are two kinds of exposition, direct and indirect. Let's look at an example of direct exposition. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Latifa who lived on 298th Street and Lenox Avenue. Latifa's grandma lived across town in a rat-infested project with dope fiends, gangbangers, and Mexican pimps, and every day after school, Latifa was responsible for bringing her a fresh brick of cocaine, so she and the other old ladies could cut it before it went out on the streets. I'll admit this lacks immediacy. I only wrote it this way because I was going for a fairy tale vibe, as this was a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood set in modern-day Harlem that I wrote with one of my black friends. And I only refer to him this way because, in the end, he asked to have his name removed from the project. Now, let's listen to an example of indirect exposition from the same story. Dan reached into the drawer to find the pistol and touched the spot smeared with Janet's lipstick. What was that shade? She must have mentioned it a dozen times. Mars Sunrise? Something like that. Dan grabbed the gun and walked across the empty living room, peeking back as he stepped out into the hall. A year ago, this would have been a place worth protecting, he told himself. Now, this says a lot while keeping the story moving. As I explained in this video, it shows instead of tells. We learned Janet was someone important to him, either a girlfriend, an ex-wife, or possibly his mom, and we know she's no longer in his life, something the emptiness of the apartment clarifies. The subtlety here provides a bigger emotional impact as well. Now we're going to look at 3 different ways to provide exposition in our writing with more samples of my writing, now available for purchase on Amazon. Example 1. Exposition through conflict. Sally had planned everything perfectly, tied up every loose end. She even shaved all her head hair and pubes. But she still woke up Thursday morning to the police knocking on her door. That's how I began the They-Them Murders, a thriller about the woke-left mob involved in a series of disappearances in the suburbs of Branson, Missouri. Because it's tied to some immediate action, it doesn't feel like telling, and while it reveals the past, a lot is still shrouded in mystery, which entices the reader. We ask, why did she shave her pubes? Was she sliding naked through some kind of cramped tube and wanted to avoid the hairs getting tugged on or pulled out? Example 2. Exposition through dialogue. You seem anxious. What's wrong? Oh, it's nothing. It's just that I haven't been in this hospital since my brother died from sepsis. That's an early scene from Heartland, a coming-of-age story about one teen's decision to become an organ donor. Dialogue can be one of the most natural ways to reveal backstory. But when you do this, make sure you don't have people talking about something they both already know, like in all movies. Find workarounds to this dilemma. Instead of a man explaining how he got his scar to his wife of 20 years, rewrite the scene so he's explaining it to a prostitute. Example 3. Exposition through newspaper articles, diary entries, emails, and other epistolary devices. Pa lost the farm today. Said we gonna move to Arkansas as soon as Grandpappy's funeral get over with. Can't say I miss him much myself, though. From Ode to Adelaide, about a rural family trying to make ends meet during the Carter administration. Devices like these are great ways to get across a lot of background information without it feeling like telling, and without the reader losing interest. And you'd be surprised by the vast number of epistolary tools you can use to convey information. Just take a look around your house right now. Now for me, that includes things like fan mail, 30 or 40 old horse race pick slips, love letters I can't find the courage to send my second wife, warning labels for sleep medication, threatening letters to the IRS I encourage my biggest fans to write and send me. Well, that's all for today. Please don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button, and I'll leave you with this week's Author Quote of the Week. See you on the next one.